Welcome to the Invite Health podcast, where our degreed healthcare professionals are excited to offer you the most important health and wellness information you need to make informed choices about your health. You can learn more about the products discussed in each of these episodes and all that Invite Health has to offer at www.invitehealth.com/podcast. First-time customers can use promo code podcast at checkout for an additional 15% off your first purchase. Let's get started.
Okay, welcome to part 2 of my episode, One Easy Habit that can improve your daytime energy, your memory, your immune system, and help you sleep better at night. My name is Jerry Hickey. I'm a nutritional pharmacist. And also, if you like this podcast, you could get all of our podcasts for free wherever you listen to podcasts, or just go to invitehealth.com/podcast. You can also find Invite on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Invite Health, and all of the information on this episode will be listed in the episode description. I guess if you like the episode, you'll probably subscribe, so thank you. It's always great to get your feedback, so if you could leave a review, it's very helpful. So I discussed in part 1 of the episode how getting out in the early morning light sets your day up. Set your day up. Get out there for 10, 15 minutes or longer. And that sets you up for your energy. And I told you why, physiologically, in that first part of this podcast, that in episode 1, why that's important, what it does for you to set you up with your energy and for better memory and for better sleep and immunity, etc. Now I want to take this further, because we spoke about our circadian rhythms, how every cell in our body has to be in sync with the sun's machinations, its interaction with the earth. So our day and night, our awake and sleep cycle has to match that of our 24-hour day, the sun cycle. And if you're not in sync, poor sleep, anxiety, depression, muddled thinking, weaker bones, because you build bone at night. So if you're not sleeping, that's bad. Poor immune function, because you're not going to release melatonin properly for your immune system. More coughs and colds, higher risk of cancer, believe it or not. Research shows that. Constipation, terrible memory. Sleep is so important for memory. I mean, different times of night, your sleep is a cycle, and you go through that cycle every several hours. And so you have the REM sleep, the rapid eye movement, and the deep sleep, the delta wave. And in parts of this, you actually have flares of energy in your hippocampus. You know, I might have said in part 1 hippocampus instead of hypothalamus. I just realized that. In part 1 of this episode, I said the hippocampus controls your internal clock. It's your hypothalamus. That's what happens when your lips are too fast. So your hypothalamus controls your inner functioning, your body clock, and your hormones, etc., day and night, your rhythms. The hippocampus is involved with your memory. So when you learn something today, it's stored in the hippocampus. But the hippocampus is only for short-term memory. So if you don't transfer it to areas of the brain, regions of the brain, where you store the long-term memories, you're going to lose those memories. They're not going to be accessible. So at night, you have these flares of energy where you're moving the memories out of the hippocampus to empty it so there's room for new memories, and you're putting it in long-term memory storage so that you can remember it, next week, the week after, whenever you need to retrieve those memories. So sleep's important for that. But also at night, you release growth hormones for your brain. And not just for your brain, for your heart and other parts of the body. But in your brain, it's really important. We didn't know this like 9 or 10 years ago. It was just discovered. Like a young person releases like nerve growth factor and brain-derived neurotrophic factor in their brain and other growth factors. This actually helps them create hundreds of new memory cells, because you lost memory cells the day before, you have to replace them. So by the time you're like in your 50s, you've replaced all your original billions of memory cells, right? So older people, we start to lose that. And that's why it's so important for an older person to get 7 or 8 hours sleep at night. So they go through that sleep cycle multiple times, and they're releasing these nerve growth factors, like nerve growth factor, like brain-derived neurotrophic factor. So you create new memories. You create new memory cells. But there's also a supplement that can help that. Zinc helps a little bit. A well-absorbed turmeric will help that. Get the complete plant. Like one of them is biocurcumin. It's a well-absorbed turmeric. It has a lot of curcumin in it, and bismuth-oxycurcumin and aromatic turmeric, all those things. Take that with your dinner, and that'll help you release these growth factors for your brain. So that's an important point there. So how important is the blue light for your health? It's really important. There's research now. I saw a study where sunlight interacts with your skin, so you release sex hormones like estrogen in women and testosterone in men for good brain function and for intimacy and energy and things like that. Now, the early morning light, once again, so the light on your skin, so you need like a half an hour's light on your skin, so like wear shorts or short sleeve shirts. The early morning light improves your mood, clear thinking, more energy, more drive. It's the single best thing for your metabolism, controlling your sugar and your cholesterol, etc., and a better night's sleep. So this is all proven. There's a lot of research showing this. And believe me, if you heed this advice, you're gonna do a lot better. You're gonna feel a lot better. So what about the evening light? Yeah, I said like half an hour, an hour before sunset, if you can get outside. You don't have to be out there for sunset, but it is beautiful. The light-sensitive cells in your eyes, they're called melanopsin cells. They detect these photons. Photons are molecules of light, and it signals the end of day, and it sets you up for sleepiness and a good night's sleep. So one advantage of a better day and night rhythm is it's easy to control your blood sugar. You're less likely to develop diabetes. People who don't sleep at night, they have a bigger risk of diabetes, and also they don't have the energy in the daytime to exercise, so that kind of like is a double whammy for developing diabetes, but you also gain weight because you don't have the energy to exercise. You have better immune function, and a lower risk of cancer. Your memory's better. Your mental health is better, like less likelihood of depression and anxiety. It's easier to control your appetite. When you're tired, you're going to eat junk food. You're going to eat those foods like, meatloaf and, sausage and waffles, whatever it is. So it's easy to control your appetite. It's easy to keep the weight off. It's easy to reduce your risk of diabetes. It's even better blood pressure control. When you are going to sleep at night, you're releasing melatonin, and melatonin lowers your blood pressure. So if you're not releasing melatonin, your blood pressure stays higher, and then in the morning you have a pulse of cortisol, which will further raise your blood pressure, and that could be dangerous for some people. They might have high blood pressure already. They have resistance to lowering the blood pressure at night. Your blood pressure is supposed to drop at night, and then there's that cortisol pulse in the morning. It could set you up for a heart attack. So you want that release of melatonin. And that's really dependent on your day and night cycle, your awake and your sleep cycle. Now, what if you have, listen, if you're not sleeping every night, you need help. You need to see somebody. But also, so if you have mild insomnia, we can help you with that. I'll talk about that later. But what about if you have 1 or 2 bad nights sleep? Like your college-age daughter had that she had a wedding over the weekend and all the things that go with the wedding, and she's exhausted. Basically, by Monday, she has jet lag. I mean, that's the same as jet lag. When kids stay out on Friday and Saturday night late, basically Sunday and Monday, they have jet lag. So I can help you get over that hump. For anybody, you have a poor night's sleep or you have 2 poor nights sleep, we can help you with that. Rhodiola. Rhodiola is an herb. It's great for you when you feel really stressed and really burnt out. It's really good for your energy. It's calming, it's soothing. It helps set up your time clock. And amino acid. Protein's made out of amino acids, and amino acids are amazing when they're used appropriately. So one amino acid that I use for people who had a terrible night's sleep is L-tyrosine. Even if you had 2 terrible nights sleep. You take about 2,000 milligrams of L-tyrosine, 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams. So it's usually a 500 milligram capsule, so it's 3 or 4 capsules in the morning. And you'll have clearer thinking. You'll be more awake. You'll feel like you had a good night's sleep. But that's only going to work 1 or 2 times. It's not like every night you could cheat on your sleep and just take tyrosine in the morning. That's not going to happen. Eventually the tyrosine won't work. But if you had 1 or 2 bad nights sleep, you could take some L-tyrosine and get the energy. Rhodiola takes a couple of days to kick in. So if you've got a really stressful, tough week and it's hard to get sleep and all, take rhodiola. It's amazing. B-complex vitamins, they're good for your brain. There was a study in England, about 10 years ago. And they took people, these people were professionals, doctors, pharmacists, nurses, accountants, whatever, lawyers. They exercised, they had a good diet according to the people who ran the project. Half of them they gave placebo, the other half they gave all 8 B vitamins. The people who got the B vitamins, their brain worked better. So even people with a good diet and they have enough money to buy good food and everything, and they're exercising, and they live a good life, good healthy life, giving them some B vitamins energize their brain better than just the food. So if you've had a terrible night's sleep, B complex vitamins, you'll feel the rush of energy. I mean, it's amazing. So that's for 1 or 2 poor night's sleep. Now let's talk about sleep itself. Artificial light at night is obviously no good. When you sleep, I already discussed how important it is for your memory and healing your brain. And for long-term memory functions, you actually build cognitive reserve at night when you're sleeping. You're building multiple memory cells. So even if there's some damage in the brain, like a little of that plaque built up that you see in Alzheimer's, the brain and memory should go on working because you built some cognitive reserve. Research shows this. But at night, you're releasing melatonin, and that signals building your bones, because you build bone at night. That does things with the immune system, so the immune system's working better. You're relaxing the body and healing. You're healing the digestive tract. Melatonin is very important for healing the digestive tract. Now, other supplements. So melatonin is a supplement that I'm going to get into later. I'm going to get into that in greater detail. L-theanine. It's mostly found in green tea. It's the reason why Buddhist monks drink green tea when they meditate. It gives you a moment of zen. L-theanine is an amino acid. It's rather a maverick. It really doesn't do other things, but it relaxes you and it helps you focus. But if you take it at night, you take a little bit extra, it helps with an overly active brain or a very stressed out brain. Anywhere from 100 to 300 milligrams will work. It's also good if you wake up prematurely, like you're one of those people that wakes up at 3 and you can't get back to sleep. Magnesium. Now, I had a friend recently tell me that he's taking magnesium threonate. I asked him why, and he said, well, I saw this guy on TV at night. I stayed up one night, and he was talking about magnesium threonate, how good it is for the brain. I said, well, yeah, but you could get away a lot less expensively if you take magnesium glycinate. It'll be carried into the brain as effectively and efficiently as magnesium threonate, and it'll do all the same things. So there's a direct pathway in the brain for magnesium glycinate, and magnesium glycinate could be a lot more powerful because it could be 200 milligrams in one tablet, where magnesium threonate is generally a lower potency. The magnesium does a couple of things, including triggering the release of melatonin, but the magnesium also relaxes the brain. So magnesium is a good thing to take with your dinner or in the evening to set up relaxing the brain, and it will allow you to release your melatonin. If you wake up prematurely, there's a B vitamin related nutrient called myo-inositol. And if you take myo-inositol, it'll make it easier for you to get back to sleep. So if you wake up inappropriately at like 2 or 3 in the morning, you can't get back to sleep, you can either use L-theanine or myo-inositol. They're both very helpful. Now, I'm going to actually have to do this podcast in 3 episodes. Review real quick. Your day and nighttime rhythm, your time clock, your internal clock, influences your blood sugar, even your diabetes risk, your blood pressure. It generally drops at night. It goes up in the daytime, but that cycle helps control your blood pressure. Your mental health, like to prevent anxiety and depression. Clear-headedness, your drive and focus, because you're going to release dopamine at the correct time. Your energy, your immune system, weight gain, cholesterol, healing, bone building, cancer risk, even tumor growth. If your internal clock is off, your day and night cycle's off, tumor growth is enhanced, a higher risk of cancer. But it reduces your lifespan. There's so many studies that when your time clock's off, it affects your lifespan. Poor sleep shortens your lifespan. So let's finish up here. The simple trick for greater daytime energy and focus, etc., and more health and better sleep, get up early in the morning, get outside, get that early morning light. And if you need help with energy, I gave you a couple of supplements, rhodiola and L-tyrosine and B vitamins. If you need help with sleep, I told you, well, there is melatonin, but I'm going to go much deeper into that. There's myo-inositol if you wake up prematurely and you can't get back to sleep, or L-theanine. If you're not falling asleep quickly enough, you could take some L-theanine. It comes from the green tea plant. There's no caffeine in it. It relaxes the brain. It gets all that noise out of your brain. It helps with stress and anger and stuff like that. It's even good for creativity in the daytime, by the way. I mean, L-theanine is something you could take in the daytime, like 100 milligrams, to calm you down and help you focus. Like if you have to switch tasks from lecturing to writing a book, the L-theanine will help that. So all of the information on this episode is, of course, in the podcast episode description. You can find our podcast for free wherever you listen to podcasts, or go to invitehealth.com/podcast. And you can also find Invite on all those social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Invite Health. Jerry Hickey signing off. Thank you so much for listening. And I have to finish this up with a part 3.